Hi, for the DJ intro, I'm going to show you a couple of composition techniques that I show my students, and then we'll talk about digital signal processing. So the first thing is I would like my students to choose a particular genre or style of music. Ironically, a lot of kids today don't understand the differences of genres and styles, so you might have to ask them what are some of the performers that they listen to. Ironically, they may not know that either. They're streaming music and they just, stream whatever they like and press like, and they don't really pay much attention to what it is. So you say, well, what genre of music do you like? And they'll say, oh, everything. Well, no, I listen to Corelli on Sunday morning. They don't. So you really got to get a little more specific with them. So just a general parameters if they like. Hip hop, the tempo settings for hip hop are anywhere between 88, depending upon if it's like hip hop trap, we could talk about another time, or old school hip hop to 98 or so, 96, 98, 92, somewhere in there. And you'll find that those are tempos that your students are actually comfortable recording to because that's the music they listen to and it's kind of in their body. They tend to record at the tempo that they want to have their pieces played at. Popular music, good old-fashioned pop music, contemporary pop music like Taylor Swift, Boyz II Men, old school stuff like that is, except for ballads, is usually around 112, 116. A lot of stuff is at the default setting of 120 these days, and I think it's just because people are too lazy to change the tempo. Then dance music is anywhere between around 124 to 144, depending upon the subgenre of dance music. So I asked students to pick a tempo. I'm going to go with a little bit of old school hip hop, and you'll see I just picked out a hip hop beat right out of the box. I like my students to use beats that they've already made. For our purposes, I'm just going to use this. You can have them use beats they've already made. You can have them use drums and percussion. You'll see in my assignment, it's for them to use beats they've already made. Here's the drum beat. Great, I might change the tempo. And I actually found a good old church organ insert here. And you'll notice what I've done is I also select in favorites so that I can get to them quickly in my favorites. And if I chose the sub filter, that's where the favorites are. It's in favorites and like that, and I can always get to it. So all I did was click and hold, drag and drop. The advantage of using a green track is that you can edit them. And it's really good to use the green tracks, which are MIDI, really, right, as opposed to audio, because you could do a lot of things with them. So I really like the foundation stuff to be this green stuff. So I encourage my students to either do that or record their own. So here's the church. I'm going to solo this organ. Great. And if I just loop the bejesus out of it, it's perfectly fine. You can just do that. Just loop it. I'm going to close this up for you. Now, the next thing is how do I build on this if I just have this one thing? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the track pull-down menu and duplicate the track. Here's the track. And I'm going to click on this. The shortcut for doing a copy and paste in GarageBand, or actually in anything on a Mac computer, is to hold down the Alt-Option button. That is on the bottom left of your keyboard. You have three buttons: Control, Alt-Option, and Command. The middle button is called Alt-Option. If I click and hold and then click on the object, that's what this is. This is an object. And I click and hold, you see the plus sign? It automatically makes a copy. That's what the plus is. It's a copy. And I'm going to release the mouse first, then let go of the Alt option. So what have I done? I've basically just duplicated. Now I have two tracks. Great. Now what am I going to do with this one? Well, I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to come in here, click in this region, and you'll notice that it's highlighted. And I'm going to select all. And I'm going to move it down an octave. Just so you know, the shortcut for that is Alt-Option, Shift, arrow down. Now, here it is. I'm going to play it, solo it here. Now, the problem with just doing things in octaves is that it, in the lower register, you get what's called phasing. It doesn't sound so good, especially in the C1 to C2 area. So I would encourage my students to, if you want to get to that middle note, and what I'm doing is holding the Shift button, Shift selecting the middle note. I'm going to come in here, and you can just delete that, and then you'll have open fifths, right? So here we go. So open fifths actually work really well when you have open fifths along with this organ playing at the same time. So you'll hear that here's the bottom organ, just the open fifths. Here it is. Great. Oh, that sounded a little funky, but here we go. And then the other octave. And then when you play them both together, ta-da! So that's how you can just create a full sound.